If this movie was about my second ex-wife, it would be called Mrs. K Died.
女儿兰係專業嘅生存者。
你究竟係邊個？
Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Ted Kaczynski, and this is my review of Mrs. K. In 2009, Malaysian director Ho Yu-hung reminded all of us how great it is to have Wai Ying-hung in movies with At the End of Daybreak. It was a comeback for her, and she definitely deserves all the attention and screen time she gets. Wai Ying-hung very deservedly won the Best Actress Award in 2016 for her role in Happiness, a movie that should have been a lot more depressing than it was. Ho Yu-hung and Wai Ying-hung have teamed up again to bring us Mrs. K, a stylish and witty homage to movies, both local and otherwise, and the people who make them. Mrs. K plays like a spaghetti western right down to the soundtrack. And no, I'm not going to exhaustively detail everything about the music or the people in this movie or the movies that this movie borrows from. See it for yourself, and whatever you don't recognize, look it up, and don't tell me, oh, you forgot to mention. I don't care. A woman lives quietly with her gynecologist husband and her young daughter. But one day a man from her past reappears, bringing with him bad memories, bad happenings, and very bad people. That's all the story you're gonna get from me, and that's all the story you need. Because Mrs. K isn't, I don't think, intended as a story movie. It's a movie. The whole thing plays like an homage to movies that you've already seen or should see. The story is simply a means to an end, a frame on which to hang some great performances, some nice filmmaking, and a whole lot of style, both pertinent and otherwise. Wai Ying-hung proves that she's still a star, playing a character with several contrasting aspects, and playing all of them brilliantly. Even staring down the barrel at 60, she's still very easy to look at, and anytime you might think that she's a little too old to play this role, she'll just smile and remind you what a timeless and magnetic movie star she really is. She plays Mrs. K as very human instead of superhuman, and it's fascinating both as a character and as a performance. She ended up doing all the stunt and action work in this movie herself because, as the director noted in an interview, she looked better than her younger stunt double. I don't know if she's gonna get nominated for this role, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was, and I'd be pretty happy if she won. Taiwanese singer Wu Bai hasn't made any movies in quite a long time, so it was nice to see one of the stars of Time and Tide on the big screen again. In what might be a nod to his rock star day job, he plays a gynecologist. He may not be convincing, but I'm sure that there's a hell of a lot of women in Taiwan and other places who would be more than happy to suspend their disbelief and their ankles. But let's move on. Simon Yam turns in yet another memorable role, carefully spreading a layer of subtle pathos on the ham and cheese that make up a good portion of his performance. Now, that might at first sound a bit snarky, but he's extremely watchable, he's very entertaining, and, like the central intention of the movie, a hell of a lot of fun. Speaking of which, the supporting cast features a panoply of familiar faces and names, including Tony Lau Weng, Fruit Chan, and Kirk Wong. I want to give special mention to Xiu Liu Zhuan, whose name I probably just terribly mispronounced, and I apologize. She plays the daughter. It would have been really easy for her to get lost or overshadowed in the middle of all of these veteran actors, but she more than holds her own. I really look forward to seeing her doing more movies because she already displays a remarkable level of talent, and more importantly, for me anyway, a ton of convincing believability. I don't get much of that, so I'm really grateful. Like I said before, Mrs. K is a movie about movies and the people who make them. It does occasionally veer dangerously close to indulging in style for its own sake, but I have to say that it always carries off the style well enough that I never got annoyed. Some people have compared Ho Yu-hung to Quentin Tarantino, but Mrs. K never struck me as meretricious. It celebrates the people who made it, not the person who directed it. I enjoyed the way that Mrs. K started off slow before really kicking into gear. I enjoyed watching people who are so good at making movies do their thing. But mostly I just enjoyed watching Wai Ying-hung be the wonderful movie star that she was, is, and probably always will be. She could kick Uma Thurman's ass with both legs tied behind her back. I really enjoyed Mrs. K. I wouldn't say more than I expected, but I enjoyed it in ways that I didn't expect to. It is, like I said, a very stylish film at times, but the style is so well done that I even enjoyed that. And let's face it, that's not normally my thing. The acting is really good, the story is enjoyable, it occasionally gets a little crazy, but again, the whole tone of the film is kind of a celebration, so it still makes sense and didn't bug me. I would definitely recommend that you watch this movie and definitely see it on a big screen, because you have to see it that way for all the action and everything else, the cinematography. It's a lot of fun. So if you get a chance to see it in the cinema, do that. If you don't have a chance to do that, wait till you can rent or buy it. Don't steal this movie. You know why I say that? Because I got friends that work in the industry whose jobs are at risk because of people stealing. And if you don't like it, bye. When this movie gets released to home video, I'll update the description with a link where you could buy a copy of it on Blu-ray or a DVD. And as long as we're talking about money, please click on my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you could make my life a lot easier than it is now. You have no idea what I've been through the last couple of weeks trying to make sure I get these reviews done. But I did it because of you. $1 a month. Is that so much to ask? I think not. If you enjoyed this review, please let me know. And if you didn't, let me know. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon.